shit explosive. All right, and looks like we are live.
Boy, I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. It's not showing it. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
We got it. It's fine.
Yep, we are live.
Hope you guys can hear us.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
What's up? We're back.
This is episode 4 of Cinemana.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
just doing it. Doing it live now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're just going for the live now. It's
Bill
actually
O'Reilly. Fuck it, we'll do it live. You know?
it was actually a good experience the last time we did it.
It was.
So that was cool. I actually prefer this.
The audio is a lot better.
Yeah.
We kind of changed the layout here. You can't really tell because it looks exactly the same on your end, but we moved some things around so we're not crawling under the table to get out for a break.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, we can walk around the table.
Yeah, we got more room.
Yeah, it's a much better setup for sure. Cool.
Much more.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. You know, gave me a little something to do. So
Yeah.
It was cool. All right. So you guys know the drill. We got news, we got talk, we got future stuff, we got bullshit to say. And
yeah, we've got some reviews.
fun to have, and hope you guys pop in. And
Yeah. We want to talk to you guys too. We want to get some engagement, some interaction with the audience. If you guys have something to say or want to chime in, please feel free.
Give Aaron a link here. How do I do that?
Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I will send that over to Aaron.
All right, awesome, cool.
So he can pop in on his little break.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I actually typed it as Aaron like an idiot in the search.
Nice.
We're here. We're doing fine. So,
cool.
Where do we want to start first? We want
All
to do yours? Go with your news?
All right, so let's start off with, I mean, we're both going to talk about Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah. Warner Brothers Discovery now.
Yeah, because that's the name of the new
Discovery
company.
bought them.
Yeah, Discovery Warner Brothers.
Of all companies, Discovery bought Warner.
Yeah, strangely enough. I don't know. They were hiding their money, I guess, after all these years. All right, so there's been a lot of stuff going on. There's been a lot of moving and shaking with this company now, with the new CEO
big
and all
shakeup.
that. Yeah, it's a huge shakeup. And what's being shaken up is a lot of the DC properties.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this last time. Batgirl got canceled or was shelved. Technically was shelved.
There's some drama going on with that still. So
There is
we'll
some
get
drama.
into that too.
There is some drama going on. And you have a lot more to say about that than I do, but I'm going to go ahead and start off.
Yeah.
Essentially, okay, so Warner Brothers Discovery is in the midst of appointing their own Kevin Feige, essentially, for DC Cinematic Universe, right? So they are assigning Dan Lin, who has been a very well-known producer in Warner Brothers for a super long time, since The Departed. You remember that movie with Leo DiCaprio, the Scorsese movie?
Mm-hmm.
So he's been like an executive producer with those guys for a very long time. He produced the Lego movie. He produced the It franchise, Stephen King film. So the guy's done a lot. And it seems like the CEO, David Zaslav, is appointing Dan Lin as essentially the maestro,
right?
DC's version of, Kevin Feige, which I think is way long overdue. They should have done this about.
That's the whole reason that
they should have done this like 8 years ago.
Marvel succeeded anyways, since they had that person that was in charge.
Right. Right, exactly. And they offered this same position to a couple of people. Christopher Nolan was originally, back in 2013, 2014, he was originally, they actually proposed him to do it, but he was like, well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself to just do this.
Yeah, he wants to do stuff.
He wants to do his own stuff, crazy, brain buster puzzle type films like Tenet and Inception and all that stuff. So he turned it down, and they've been looking for somebody ever since. But Dan Lin seems like a solid guy. Like I said, he's done The Departed, he's done Sherlock Holmes, the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, the It franchise. So he's done a lot. He's brought in Warner Brothers a ton of money, and he apparently is a comic book fanatic. So I don't know. I guess it's in good hands. But this is something that they should have done years ago. A lot of the DC television and movies do not kind of coincide the same way that Marvel does.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
they have their DC TV universe and then their DC cinematic universe.
well, no, they're all different. Yeah, they're all completely different universes. One doesn't have to do with the other, and then there's a Batman universe that has nothing to do with the, the Justice League, and it's kind of all over the place. But I get it. Warner Brothers just wants to take all of these intellectual properties and just give it to filmmakers to see what it is that they want to do without restricting them. So there's a give and take here. I understand Warner Brothers' point of view on how they approach things previously, but Marvel's killing it with everything being cohesive.
Yeah.
In the same
way.
Kind
of like a quasi monopoly on that kind of scenario going on.
Yeah. Essentially, they do up until now. So let's see what DC does. The good thing that I heard was that the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, he is a fan of the Snyderverse. He wants to continue on with with what Justice League started.
Okay.
So that is good news. They're not going to scrap it and start from scratch. I think that would be a bad idea,
especially this far in the game.
Yeah. And you've already gotten some people invested. You've already gotten some fans. I'm a fan of the Snyderverse. I actually liked it. I like the Snyder cut. I think that was way, way better. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think especially because they've had some pretty good successes too, like Aquaman series and
Aquaman was great.
Wonder Woman movies.
Right, they were
well
fine.
received. And, it's just when it comes to like the first Suicide Squad that one kind of bombed, and then the ratings wise it kind of bombed.
Right, and then so they got James Gunn to do the second one, and that was great.
It was amazing.
That was fun. Yeah, man.
So we'll see. It's kind of it's what happens when you shake up the company and they get a whole new leadership profile coming in.
Right.
But it seems like this guy really has, what's his name again? The CEO?
David Zaslav.
Yeah, it seems like he's pretty just foot on the pedal.
Yeah, he's focused. Yeah. He came in and he's like, no, this is what we're doing. We're shelving this thing. We're putting this on pause. He got a vision.
I agree. Do you want to segue into what I was going to talk about with
Please.
Discovery? Okay,
yeah, because I don't want to switch subjects.
I was reading up on Batgirl again because it seems like there's a lot of he said, she said going on with what happened there. And first we heard
with it being shelved.
Yeah, first we heard it was bad test screenings. And then we heard, maybe it was they're trying to get rid of the streaming platform being the front and center. But now I read that the directors, they went to go basically look into like the files and go see what their work was so they could, document it basically kind of like how Zack Snyder did with his stuff. He had stills and he had things that he was working on the side. So they were going to kind of take some pictures on their phones or whatnot, like, about their work, and they go in and all the files are gone. Well, so they're all just deleted.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And I read that the directors, when they talked to the guy, were basically the studio heads and all that, they were saying it's a money issue. That they just don't want to waste any more money on it.
They don't want to. So
it's interesting. Primarily financial decisions, what they're saying, and not anything to do with the content or the movie itself.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe they don't think it's worth the release in theaters or what's going on, but
it
seems pretty controversial to go into your files and they're all just
like as a director or producer, like if after you spent like a year or two working on this thing
or more,
like you go there and you're continuing to do some work and then surprise, like a heads up would have been great. Like you dedicated a whole lot of work and time and the artistry and the choreographing and the costumes. Like there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of brain power. And, that sucks to not get a heads up. Let them know like, hey, this is what we're doing with your footage. That's kind of messed up, man. Like, wow, I don't even know what to say.
And then on top of that, I just before we were gonna start doing this, I read that the cast and crew were invited to Warner Brothers lot to do a kind of a funeral screening where it was like the last time they're going to show this to anybody.
Really?
And they invited them to go see it, and then that's basically it.
That's it?
That's it.
But what are they going to do with it? That's it? They're going to bury it?
I don't know. I mean, it does seem kind of weird that there's all this like hoopla about it. Maybe they're trying to drum up some back end hype to maybe they're gonna like, hey, we're getting rid of this, and then you might come into the future and go, haha, surprise, here it is.
Well, I think that's a bad move. I think they should just say, hey, listen, we're not complete. I mean, that's the first report that I heard was like,
it wasn't good.
You know, they were just shelving it because they were reworking. You know, the internal stuff. You know, they were reworking like what the DC cinematic universe was going to turn into. But yeah, that sounds like very underhanded kind of stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, it seems odd that there's all kinds of like we get one different reason each week about why it was canceled.
Right. It seems like the truth is somehow leaking out and being revealed. This is what's really happening.
So like, who knows?
It could be a money issue.
People are saying maybe the directors are trying to do, you know, like a Snyder thing where they're kind of leaking bits about it and getting
they're trying to
resurrect their movie or whatever.
That makes sense.
But still, it kind of sucks to go in and be like, whoa, where the fuck's my movie at? It's just,
man. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, they're just like, whoop. No, maybe it's.
See, now that's a bad move because then that's going to give them bad publicity. Like they should have handled that much better. Yeah. Now it's just kind of spoiled.
And then speaking of bad publicity, we got the whole Ezra Miller saga going on.
Oh, that's a great segue. Yeah.
So apparently Warner Brothers gave Ezra Miller like 3 options, which is like no 2 of them was, you know, go get treatment, and then the other one was we're just going to shelve everything. We're not going to release it.
Right.
Forget what the third one was. I have to like look that up. But they basically gave him 3 options, and he chose the treatment route. He went to rehab recently or something like that. He gave a little apology. I'm mental health and all that. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, you kind of actually crazy, dude. Like,
pretty much.
But apparently, the Flash movie, they did a test screening, and it got the best reactions of any DC movie.
I heard about this.
In this, you know, late history. What's going on with them in this whole universe.
Oh, man.
So I think especially with how much money's been spent and all that, I don't think Warner Brothers is going to back off. I think they're going to release this movie. Yeah.
Because they can easily do another Batwoman kind of.
And you know, with the whole storyline with this, it's supposed to be, you know, Flashpoint and all that. And it's supposed to be a big reworking of the universe. So there's room there to shove in another Flash actor
to do something else.
Yeah.
But, well, you know, Grant Gustin.
Yeah,
just saying.
Well, I think he just wrapped up his last season on Flash.
That's right. That's right. You know. So he's free now. There's no conflict.
The old Glee actor there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but no, you know, it's just interesting that there's controversy that they're creating, but they're also just like, you know what? Who cares about controversy? Yeah. Because they got their own controversy, then they got Ezra Miller and all this stuff. They're just like, you know what? We don't care. Let's just release this stuff. And honestly, like personally for myself, I want to see it. Yeah. Flash was always like one of my favorite superheroes growing up.
Yeah, I think that goes for a lot of people.
And you know, we just had Secrets of Dumbledore come out, and he was in that movie, and nobody said anything.
Right, so, and there was still some drama and stuff. Like he was still going through his stuff.
Even before it came out, he was already going like all the Hawaii nonsense that he was going.
Yeah, that's right.
Now he's like a globetrotter, just going to different areas. And
oh my goodness! Yeah, he's trying to make his rounds.
Now he's got like a weird like Top Gun mustache. I don't know if you've seen that picture.
I did not.
This is his little disguise. He's like,
no kidding.
I don't know. It's just
like Miles Teller now.
Yeah, so I think they're going to release it. I think it's going to piss people off, but maybe they're trying to just wait out the hype of the controversy, because that's what happens with things like this. You know, people get all mad, they say their things, and then time goes by, and they're like, "Oh, what was that about? Forgot."
Yeah,
because it doesn't come out until it's a little bit under a year, June 2023.
Yeah,
I think it's been pushed back like twice.
Yes, it has been pushed back.
The movie's done. So,
yeah, what else do they need to do?
But you know, it's like even with all that bullshit, it's like I want to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. You know?
Yeah. So the thing about it is that the way I see this is like it's kind of like Spider-Man's, No Way Home, where you would have all these other Spider-Men come into the picture. Yeah. You see, I feel like this is DC's version.
I think they're supposed to have different Flashes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so maybe Grant Gustin does pop up.
They do, and different versions.
Because they already did that in the Flash TV show.
In the Flash TV show, they did. Yeah, so it just makes sense that they're going to do that in the movie. Now, but it has been confirmed that there are going to be multiple Flashes. Yeah. And multiple Batman.
I think we saw that in the trailer, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. So, to some degree, that's going to happen. Now, they can rework the direction of the DC cinematic universe after that film, that might be their way out. That might be like their ace, up their sleeve.
Yeah.
But they have 2 movies coming out that are on the slide. They have the Aquaman 2 that's also coming out as well.
Yeah, well, that's also a source of controversy with Amber Heard.
So what's going on with that?
What is going on with DC, man?
I mean, hey, it's a lot. It's
attracting, I guess it's like because it's a darker universe, they attract more.
Yeah, I guess so.
More darker problems.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. So so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with all this moving and shaking that's happening over at DC. We'll see how it goes.
I think it's promising though. And then coming in
I think they're making some good decisions.
Zaslav comes in, and then right after that they get their maestro producer to take over and be the Feige of this universe. And
I don't. So far, I don't. Aside from the controversy and all the other he said, she said kind of stuff that's happening, the stuff that is confirmed and how they're moving things around in Warner Brothers, I think that's good. It should have been done a long time ago, but I think better late than never.
Yeah. It seems like new leadership was necessary.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So that wraps it up for Warner Brothers. Unless you guys have something to say.
Okay. Do we have any?
I think.
Do you have any comments or anyone?
Yeah, someone's watching. It's a secret person out there.
Okay.
Identify yourself.
All right, we've got one viewer. Okay, so
feeling good.
Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I remember you mentioned there was some kind of controversy, something going on with them too.
Well, it's been like it's been going like that since they announced this. Because
why?
It's like, well, what's almost as bad as Star Wars fans, Lord of the Rings fans. So
okay, close enough. Yeah, that's true.
You can't appease anybody.
Really. Yeah, that's true, because you're gonna have your hardcore kind of very meticulous and very particular type.
But the new trailer came out, the final trailer came out, and it was just a roast fest on all platforms, and YouTube, Facebook.
Okay. I mean, I get that. That's gonna happen. You're gonna have people.
I think what it is too is they kind of branded it a little bit wrong, where they called it Lord of the Rings series. It's Rings of Power, but it's like the Lord of the Rings. And people are like,
right. It has
how does that make sense? Because we just had Lord of the Rings, and they think it's like a reboot or something. And
right. The double title is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, they don't realize it's.
I think they should have called it the Silmarillion.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it's quite that.
It's yes, it is
partly, but not the whole thing.
It's a story. It's taken from that book. No other book. It's taken.
You try reading it. It's like reading the Bible. You're like, what's going on?
It's a bit hard to read. Yeah, it's not like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. No. It's not that type of literary work. Yeah. It's more it's more of an appendix. I'm sorry, an appendix of the ages, like all the things that happened before, and they're good stories.
It's like a history book.
Right. And like the first age, this is what happened. Second age, this is what. Like you don't follow these characters on a particular journey, right? So it is that type of a read. But yeah, they should have called it the Silmarillion, because that's what any other fan is going to know it by that, because that's where the story is coming from. Yeah. This is Sauron when he's fallen, actually.
Yeah, you see him in the new trailer as.
Do you see his actual face? Because before you just saw like this thing falling.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pops up in the trailer as his Elvish form.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Yeah, because
he hung out with the elves for a while.
That's true. It technically he's a Maya.
Yeah. Well, they can take any form they want.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, this is basically before he fell super deep into his nonsense. So he's I think they show Melkor too. So.
Interesting.
So we'll see.
I wonder if they talk about Morgoth. Morgoth was the real Dark Lord. Yeah. He's the one that seduced Sauron, actually. So he was the Sauron.
Melkor Morgoth? I think it's like his other name. It's the same person.
No, I have to check. We have to check the stats on that. But so
it's Morgoth.
Is it? It's the same. Okay, it's the same person. All right, that's fine. Different name. Yeah, so from what I hear, this series reportedly has a budget of over $400 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, which is the highest in any TV show ever made.
That's higher than most movies.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So those numbers can translate to big success or a big fail.
Yeah, they're gambling a lot of money here.
So yeah, man, it's
A lot of Bezos bucks going to this show.
it's a huge gamble. However, the critics love it so far because they have screened it.
Mm-hmm.
They've screened, I believe, the first 2 episodes.
Are we gonna get the first 2?
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if we're gonna get the first 2 at the same time.
I think that'd be a smart move by Amazon because they're definitely trying to combat with House of the Dragon right now.
Right, exactly, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah. So I read through, and it was actually it was 1 or 2 critics that I actually know from back in New York. And it popped up, and I saw kind of like a screen grab of Twitter. But so far, a lot of the critics, they've just been talking about it on Twitter. They love it. They love it. They say that it's a continuation of Jackson's work. Okay. It looks beautiful. The acting is there. So far from the critics watching it, they saying they did a great job, and it's very truthful to that story, and it looks like Peter Jackson worked on it. So
but he didn't.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Yeah, it didn't have anything to do with it.
That'd be a great.
But that's what they're saying.
That'd be a great surprise if we did. But I wonder, did they get Weta to work on this?
I'm sorry.
The Weta workshop out of New Zealand.
I don't.
Did all the props.
I don't know.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah, I haven't checked.
They do a lot of like fantasy stuff. So.
Yeah, they did. Well, I mean, yeah, they made the reputation off of it. Yeah.
So that comes out the 2nd, I believe.
September 2nd. That's right. It comes out September 2nd, so we'll see in about a week and a half.
Yeah. It's the 25th, so we got a week.
Yeah. Well, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siri, I don't want you. She likes when I talk to her. So. All right, we got next.
So, but yeah, another thing that I found out is so the creators have 5 seasons planned.
5 seasons.
Yeah.
That's a lot of content.
That is a lot of content. They're stretching it out. I don't think the Silmarillion has that much content in it, but it would be interesting to see. It would be. So
yeah, it's interesting to see if they're gonna like make up their own stuff, or if they're gonna just follow like the actual lore. They're gonna like insert their own stuff in there.
But more importantly, that means they have to spend They're probably going to spend $400 million for every season.
That's nuts.
That is
maybe depending on how this goes, because
it has to depend on how this goes. Because if it's not that successful, there's a lot riding on this.
Yeah,
a ton riding on this. If it's not that successful, if it doesn't pull in a ton of viewers or anything, they're gonna think twice about a second season because they're gonna have to pony up just about the same amount.
Yeah, so it's definitely a gamble. Really has to be good. Amazon doesn't have like a flagship series with their streaming that I can think of off the top of my head.
They kind of do, man. They have a lot of. I mean, listen, The Boys.
Boys.
The Boys is super popular now, man, and they have their own spinoff now as well.
Right.
The Jack Ryan series that's been going on for a while now.
That's kind of a niche, right?
It is a niche, but you have people that like it. I mean, I remember the books, the Jack Ryan books, and the military stuff and all that. I'm into it, and I know there's a bunch of other people that are into it as well. So they have some. Yeah. They have some stuff.
I think they're trying to obviously make this one like the big one.
They're trying to make this is their Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to pull in
$400 million. They're going to
They want to pull in all those people, casual viewers that are not really into this kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think HBO subscribers come to us.
Right. That's what they're trying to do. Right.
Even though almost everybody has Prime these days, so everybody has Prime Video.
Yeah, so it just makes it easy.
Yeah. But they want that viewership, they want that money.
Yeah, man.
So I am excited though. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I got a whole bookshelf over there. I collect copies of Lord of the Rings. So it's just
yeah, your last copy was awesome with the red.
Oh yeah,
with the red pages on the side. Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
All right. So something else in news, and I haven't watched this because it just gets released today. But Mike, the Mike Tyson story. So this is out on Hulu, and it stars Devontae Rhodes as Mike Tyson, and you might have seen him as mostly well known from a A24 movie.
Which one is that?
Moonlight.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
So he's the story of Moonlight is like a kid, like you show him like when he's a young kid, and then how he progresses into adulthood. So he's the adult version of that kid.
Okay.
So this is the guy. He's playing Mike Tyson. He's also done some work in Predators, which was I believe Robert Rodriguez's.
That was like the 2010 or 2012.
I think it was 2018.
I thought that was The Predator.
No.
Yeah.
Predators, I think, was like, was it The Predator? I'm not too sure. There's a bunch of them.
Predators 2010. Yeah, so The
Was it
Predator.
2010? Okay. Oh, so it was The Predator.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the more recent one.
If Tyler was here right now, he would know. We're gonna talk about Prey later.
Okay.
Yeah, The Predator was.
Okay, The Predator.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's the one.
That's the one.
Right. Yeah. So Devontae Rhodes was in that. He had a part in that. And it has Russell Hornsby as Don King, and Harvey Keitel as Customato, who's famously Mike Tyson's trainer.
Okay.
Yeah. So has a couple of people, well-known people in there. The rest I don't know. But it starts today.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it on?
It is on Hulu.
Nice.
Yeah, and it drops 2 episodes today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is done by the creator. The creator is Steve Rogers, and he did the I, Tonya, that movie.
That was kind of successful.
Yeah, that was pretty good with Margot Robbie. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. So I'm interested to see this, man. Mike Tyson, his story is wild. I already know his story. His story is insane. I just want to see how they depict it and how accurate.
Yeah, I actually did hear something about this, and Mike Tyson was like, I guess, angry about it.
Was he?
Because they didn't really consult him on this too much.
They went ahead and did their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering that as well.
And there's all the comments like, "Oh, how are you gonna do that? How is that legal?" It's like, well, that's just fair use, baby.
Pretty much. People can do that.
As long as you're not slandering somebody, you can make a movie about anybody you want.
Yeah, that sucks, man. They should have brought in Mike. He could have given you a little bit more tidbits. He's open for it.
Really, maybe he was just like, doesn't want it to happen. And they're like, it's
maybe. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Who knows, but
he's a different person now, so he probably doesn't want any of that, because it was a different life.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to talk about like the bad stuff too.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Rape, conviction.
Right. The abuse stuff, the drug use, and all that. So I'm pretty sure he didn't want that to be displayed.
If you watch interviews with him, whenever that gets brought up, he gets pissed. So,
yeah. That's a very serious thing, man. So I don't blame him for that. But yeah, man. So I mean, it looks like an interesting series. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, if it's on today, I'll definitely check it out tonight.
All right. And that's it. That's all I have for news.
That's all we got for news. I think that, Oh, well, I got one more here about the Sandman before we go in and talk about it.
Okay.
This might just be some like back-end hype they're building up, like the director, the showrunner, and all that.
Okay.
But Neil Gaiman said that the likelihood of its renewal is dependent on Netflix's willingness to pony up the money. Because I guess it's very expensive to make all the special effects and all the cast and everything that's going on into it. It just costs a lot of damn money. And knowing Netflix, they have like a reputation for canceling things based purely on financial decisions.
That's true,
and not basically what the ratings say and
that is
viewership.
True. Yeah.
So
they need more subscribers.
They
lost a ton.
Yeah, well, and they're also like doing things based on money, like they're increasing the cost, they're getting rid of the shared screening,
right,
and all that stuff.
Right.
So, there's something's going on with Netflix that they're not talking too much about.
Yeah.
But there's a couple series that haven't got renewed, and that's one of them. The other one is Umbrella Academy, which did very well. It was really popular in summer.
Right. Yeah.
I loved it. One of my favorite shows. It still hasn't gotten the green light for the next season.
Wow.
And it was, it didn't end in a way that it should. If it was canceled, it's like totally set up for another season.
Right. Yeah. So, they kind of left it open ended.
So just Netflix is, it's like just riding on Stranger Things hype, and then you're like, the series.
That's interesting.
We'll get to you guys when we get there and all that.
That's very interesting. And Squid Games was renewed.
Squid Game was renewed. Yeah. Almost instantaneously after the first season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So they
that was also the most watched Netflix show of all time.
Of all time?
All time.
More so than Stranger Things?
Yeah, of all time.
How in the hell? How did that happen? I still haven't watched this. I mean, I've watched it and I didn't finish it.
Yeah, it was well over 1 billion views.
How? How is that even possible?
It just became it's a global phenomenon. Like I know, like ST is.
This is the Hunger Games. Honestly, it's just the Hunger Games all over again. I don't know. I just don't see anything different. That's why it just kind of like I glossed over it. I was like, oh, okay.
You gotta watch it, man. Watch it in Korean. It's great.
Yes, I guess. I was watching it in Korean. I got up to the episode where the guy went back.
Yeah.
Where they had the vote thing. And then they were like, okay, you guys voted, so you guys get to leave. And then they left. They went to the world, the real world. And then they got stuck in the same situation again. And, they decided, some of them decided to go back.
It's about like halfway, right? Something like that.
Yeah, halfway. So I get the premise of it. I understand. But still, man, like, come on. It doesn't have me at the edge of my seat. So, I don't know. That's just me. But, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, the Sandman's future is yet to be determined. That's basically the whole point.
Yeah.
And that brings us into our first movie TV talk, which is Sandman.
The Sandman. All right. So what did you think? And does it deserve another season?
Does it deserve another season? Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Okay.
I actually, because we talked about it last podcast, so you were bringing it up and things that I should watch.
That's right.
It came out. I kind of missed the whole release, and I saw everybody talk about it. I was like, oh shit, yeah, Sandman. I'm like, I can watch it.
Right.
And I binged the whole thing in like a day and a half.
Yeah, I binged it.
So
yeah. It was cool.
It's kind of a slow burn.
It is a slow burn.
It's very especially the first couple episodes.
The first 3 maybe or
the
slow.
The first one is the most egregiously slow.
Yeah.
Because they're setting up, you got Tywin Lannister, doing his magic in the basement.
That's right.
Because he tries to capture Death, but he gets the Sandman.
That's right. Yeah. The other sibling.
Yeah. But see, I hit the blank on the dude's name, but he did very well.
Oh, the Corinthian?
No, Morpheus.
Oh, the guy who played Morpheus. Right. Yes, he did. He is the Sandman. He sold that.
Tom Sturridge.
Sturridge?
Sturridge.
Okay.
Double R there.
Okay, Sturridge. Tom Sturridge. No, he sold that character.
No, very good.
He's right off the comic book page.
Like reminding me a little bit of an Alan Rickman.
In
his delivery.
Severus.
It's in his delivery, like a slow, calculated style.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And you don't expect this skinny dude to have this deep voice and
yeah. Well, I mean, he's technically he's more than he's not exactly a god, but he's something
he's an
like
endless
that.
one.
Yes, they call him the Endless
because they're there before life and the creation.
They just exist, which is a different level.
And he's talks about how he accidentally killed the whole universe.
It's crazy. It's nice, man. But it gives you a peek into Neil Gaiman's head because he likes to tackle these giant type figures,
And this is DC as well, right? It's based on a DC comic, I believe.
I'm not too sure
if
it's
DC. It has
Constantine
in it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is DC. Yes, that's right. Yes.
It has a Joanna Constantine, so she's a female version of John Constantine.
Gender swap.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think was for the show. Right?
Yeah, they did that for the show. Because in the comic book, he actually talks to John Constantine.
Yeah.
Because he's a well-known
demon hunter.
He's DC's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Just way darker. way darker.
Yeah. And there's been some iterations of his character throughout.
Yes, my favorite, Keanu Reeves. That was fantastic. Didn't look like the comic book character, but he got the guy right. Yeah. So yes, that was one of my favorites. Still a good movie.
Hopefully they do another one.
I hope so, man. That was a solid, good movie. I like that.
But yeah, the acting I thought was great. I love the talk about cost. The special effects are phenomenal.
They were. They did
not
look cheap.
Except I have one gripe with the special effects.
Oh, what's that?
Which was the gargoyle.
Oh, that
looks like shit.
That was awful. That was bad. That was bad.
The gargoyle looks like a dragon. I was like, what is it? They're like, oh, is this a dragon? Like, oh, it's a gargoyle. I'm like, what the fuck? That's not a gargoyle.
Yeah.
I've seen the cartoon gargoyles. That is not a gargoyle.
That is not. That was a dragon. Yeah, because a gargoyle is supposed to be like a goblin. A goblin
it's supposed
type.
to be a statue that comes to life at night.
Right, exactly. Otherwise, it's not a gargoyle.
Yeah,
It's just a dragon.
This looked like I can't it just didn't work.
I agree with you on that. That was shit.
Yeah.
That was bad
They
CGI.
messed that one up.
That was bad. All the other special effects were great.
Yeah, especially like the crow stuff
Yeah.
and the way.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. That was a nice.
I thought it was Patton Oswalt.
That was Patton Oswalt, man. That was a nice little surprise.
He's just like a dude. It's like, oh, we get some crow now. All
Yeah,
right.
like he died and he got reincarnated as a crow. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. I love it. He was a good comedy.
Comic relief.
Yeah, he was.
That's awesome.
Honestly, I mean, they should have made him a little bit funnier just to kind of balance things out.
Yeah,
because it was dark.
It
was dark. There wasn't anything too funny about that show. It was dark.
No,
they needed some more of him. What's his name? William or Matthew? Or
Matt.
Matthew.
Just
right.
Matt.
That's what it was. Matt the Crow. Yeah, just a regular name. He could have came up with something better, man. Something a little regal. For crying out loud.
I wonder if Patton Oswalt has any input on this character. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. I'm pretty sure he has an opinion on everything.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I love the world building, and I know that these characters are also based off some of the mythological stuff, in the ancient times. And, ancient Greek and stuff like that.
Yeah, he pulled from that, and he created his own world.
Yeah.
But because I'm familiar with the comic book, it's pretty accurate, man.
Yeah,
it's pretty accurate. I mean, there is a little bit of gender swapping, aside from that, and then everything else is just on point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like it.
Yeah, I like especially when they get to the siblings and how they're all.
The siblings are interesting.
Yeah,
because they didn't. I mean, of course, this is the story of the Sandman. It's about Dream.
Yeah.
But Death pops in a lot.
Yeah.
Because he is much closer to Death than any of his other siblings.
Because they're kind of related a little.
Which is funny. Sleep and Death are very very close. So that's very funny. But there are more. There's Destiny, who is the eldest. There's
is there Destruction?
There's Destruction.
Yeah.
Who's a carpenter, and I'm not too sure what he was trying to say.
Why would a Destruction be a builder?
Right, exactly. But not only that, but he has kind of a Jesus look.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is interesting. He's a carpenter, and what? So I'm not too sure what was in Neil Gaiman's head when he created that. And then you have Desire, which is the troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Despair, yes, which is the bigger one.
Looks disparate. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the much bigger one who has a bunch of rats as pets.
And self-harms.
And self-harms.
Yeah, I noticed that. She cut herself.
Yeah, man. The personifications are
pretty on point.
Yeah, pretty on point. But you got to remember that this stuff was written in the 90s, so I'm pretty sure that he was trying to say something about the culture around that time. So
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope it does get renewed because any kind of show that I watch, I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and it's next thing you know, it's 10 hours later, and I'm just still watching it.
Right,
that's a good show.
Yeah, yeah. No, I liked it. Aside from the slow burn at the beginning, I'm like, let's wrap it up. Let's get them.
Yeah,
let's have them break out.
Dialogue heavy.
Yeah, it is, man.
I know. Dan mentioned that. I talked to him about Dan Granado. He's like, hey, you see, I think I posted about it. He's like, oh, I tried to watch it.
There wasn't a whole lot of action.
It's all talking.
There wasn't a whole lot of action.
All the expose.
Stuff. So. One of my favorite episodes was when he got to meet Morningstar, Lucifer Morningstar. That was cool. Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm not a big fan of her though. Gwendolyn Christie.
I thought she did well. I was like, as far as the character, I'm pretty sure they could have picked somebody else.
Yeah. But
she did well for that. She didn't do bad.
Yeah.
She didn't do bad.
Well.
She did well. But their interaction was interesting. Yeah.
I like that little battle they had. I thought it was like a fight. No, it's just like a.
Oh no, it's a different type of battle.
They conjure up scenarios.
Right, exactly. It was a battle of the minds.
Yeah.
Of their
imagination. Of course, hope wins at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting. I like that. But yeah, throughout his journeys, Dream does encounter other beings and angels and gods, powers and principalities and all of that stuff. So
yeah.
his journey is very interesting. So I do hope that they kind of continue on that same train.
I hope to see more.
Yeah. Cool. So it gets 4 stars.
You get 4 stars. You get 4 stars. I think I'll give 4 stars too.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. Right?
Okay.
Yeah,
the whole thing, the whole season.
Yeah.
Gets 4 stars.
Certain episodes and anyhow.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can kind of you can fast forward.
All right. So what do we want to talk about next? I think we should save the big boy for in the middle here.
The big one. Okay. You want to talk about Prey?
So we can do Prey. Yeah,
okay.
Let's do Prey.
We can do Prey. All right. Cool. I don't know. We might get some feedback from Facebook on this.
I don't know if Tyler's in here or not yet, but
okay.
We don't have it. Where's everybody at? Where y'all at?
Yeah.
You're making me sad, man.
Okay, so I liked Prey. It was a different Predator for me. It was a different look at the Predator. Supposedly, this is the first time a Predator touched down on Earth.
Yeah.
Had a different look. I liked the skull that it was wearing. Looked like from some kind of beast or something that they conquered before. Yeah. I thought that was cool. This Predator was badass, man.
Yeah.
Like it was taking people out, and the way it took people out was very interesting. So it was cool. I do like the setting. It took place in America, and it was during the time of colonization.
Yeah. So
you did see some colonizers on there.
1714, I believe.
Right. That's right. Yeah, in the 1700s. And these were the girl and the people in the tribe were Comanche, right? So the girl was the lead. She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
fantastic job. I want to see more of her. I mean, her career just blew up off of this. She was probably an unknown actress before this, but now she is very, very known. I like the girl. I liked her.
No, yeah, she was great. I thought she did very well. Amber Mid-Thunder.
Okay.
That's a name.
Yeah, that is a serious name. Mid-Thunder.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. That must be part of the Comanche name.
I think the thing about this movie, I think it was like the first to have a majority cast of Native American.
That's right. That's right.
I believe that she's not Comanche. I think she is something else.
But anyway, her brother.
She's a Sioux.
Oh, she's a Sioux. Okay, so. Gotcha. All right, we want to get that correct, folks. We don't want to mix up tribes. So her, the rest of her tribe, her castmates, that was all great, and I actually liked the fact that they did this different turn and they kind of focused on this, this time period, and the people that it's hunting, the people that it's actually affecting. I thought it was very, very clever, something different, and I was on board, man. I just wanted to see something, because you kind of, with the Predator movies, it was very cookie cutter. You kept saying the same stuff over and over. Every now and then, you might have somebody to come up with like another creative idea, but it started to get bland.
Yeah, the problem with that too is not only do they rehash and do the same things over and over again, they got worse. Yeah, they got worse.
They did.
The only higher rate besides this one, which is like the highest rated Predator movie of all time, in terms of critics and all that.
Really,
the only other one that even comes close is the first one. The rest of them all have 20-30%.
Yeah, and there's a couple of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it was Predator 2, and then
which was all right. I like that one with Danny.
That one got like a 30% RT though. It's like
bomb. Man, yeah.
Critics wise, I think fan scores are always a little bit higher, but then we had we had Predator. We had there was another one in between that and the 2010 movie, I believe.
Yeah, there were a couple, man. I can't
rattle the last one that came out, which is The Predator.
Then you had Alien versus Predator.
Yeah,
that came out as well.
Yeah.
Then you had Predators,
which is 2010.
That was 2010 with Adrian Brody, and they were all stuck on a planet.
Yeah. The Predator came out just like 4 years ago or something like that.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Then we got this one, but this is like I think it had like,
and each one is a little bit more.
This one has like a 96, 98 on RT.
Yeah,
and like that's crazy.
It just they didn't go over the top like the other movies did because they tried to one up themselves and it got more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I remember at one point they were trying to like in one of those movies, I forget which one. They were trying to take the Predator's like suit off because they were trying to get like the cloaking, technology and all that stuff. And then like a human being was trying to put it on. It was just weird. It started to get very weird.
Yeah, this one is more back to form, I think.
Back to form, man.
But I think it's even better because I actually watched the Predator movies, just like the first couple of them, and then the first one especially. It's like the first half of it just sucks. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's great. It's just like
it's a bunch of army guys.
Yeah, going into the jungle.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's like all right, it's just cheesy as hell. You don't even see the Predator until like over halfway through the movie.
Right. Right, and then it starts taking
which is
everybody
like
out.
that's a good idea to have that kind of like, oh, there's somebody in the background and stalking us, but they should have focused more on that aspect instead. It's like, we're going to do this, save all the people, and like,
yeah.
What the hell, Apollo Creed, you asshole! Like,
Oh man, no, that was good.
But this is like back to form, but in such a neat way.
Yeah.
And the whole idea about hunting was
That's
really
right.
front and center. And that's basically the entire Predators.
That's the
MO
whole
was is they're looking for the biggest and baddest things to hunt, and that's why it shows him in like a whole little step by step of things he encounters that he thinks are like, oh, this is the Predator, like because in the Predator's mind he's looking for predators.
Correct.
So that's why he kills.
He's looking for other predators.
He's like, oh, the predator kills.
He kills a snake, and then he kills a wolf,
and then like that's why he put the wolf skull on his belt because he's like, I just killed one of the most badass predators on this planet.
Yeah, and then the bear.
And the bear, and then he's like, oh shit, no, it's the humans that are like the predators.
Right, and then he gets to the humans, so he kind of works his way up. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's their first time being there. Right. He's like, oh shit, what's this all about?
Yeah. And then the humans have weapons, muskets. And I found this very particular shot hilarious was when he's going after the colonizers. Well, the colonizers were trying to
French.
capture. Yeah, the French. They were trying.
I was like French.
Yeah, you heard it. It's like, oh, I know that. But they were hunting him, right? And then he starts hunting them, and then they all shoot him, and then he kind of blocks all the bullets, and then they're like, oh, that didn't work. They're trying to reload, and the whole time the Predator's looking at them like, are you serious right now? He just takes them all out, which that was great. That was fantastic.
He's just like if you look at his gear, it's more primitive than the other Predators because it does take place almost 30 years before the movies. Right. So I went back and watched the first one, and the first one he has his
the cannon.
It's on the targeting mechanism is on the arm on the cannon.
Right.
Which shoots plasma. It shoots plasma.
Right.
This one, it's on his helmet and it shoots projectiles.
It shoots like arrows.
So they're not. It's not as advanced as they are.
Correct.
In later movies.
Correct. Yeah. It's a little bit advanced, but not exactly. Yeah.
And it seems like the cloaking is not as good as it was in the
right. And I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, because it's like it's not as refined. It shows that their technology is still evolving too.
Right. Yeah.
So much better than the humans.
Than anything they have currently.
But it also shows like the arrogance of the Predator too, because he gets arrogant. He loses because he doesn't keep his wits about him, and she.
Right. Yeah. She outsmarts with his own stuff. And I'm like, all right. I'm not gonna lie. There was a moment where I was just like, is he that dumb? I just thought to myself, because at the end where she uses the helmet against him, right? And that's the whole thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. Does he not see that the thing is not targeting? Like, he keeps trying to shoot her. Yeah. Like, and that wasn't the first time that happened. Like, it happened before when he was fighting her brother, right? And the brother was riding around the horse. He kept trying to shoot him, but the targeting kept going elsewhere where that little laser thing was. So at the end, when she did the same thing, I was like, well, didn't you learn from the first time, dude? Like how are you that stupid? Did you not know how your own gear works? He got arrogant
because he was pissed, and he's like, I'm just gonna brute force you.
Yeah, he tried.
And it's kind of the same in the first movie when he takes all his gear off and 1v1s his character without any help.
That's right. Yeah, the ego got involved. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good point. Okay, that's good.
But I thought it was very well done. The acting was great. Also, going back to the actors, I did read that the person who plays Tabe, her brother,
Yeah.
His name is Dakota Beavers. He doesn't even have like a Wikipedia page yet, but he was like working at a grocery store and got this role.
No kidding.
Yeah, he nailed it. I thought he did very well.
He did.
Yeah.
He did fantastic, man. I thought he was a trained actor.
Yeah, no, it's just like his first role.
What?
Yeah, first major role, at least.
Not bad.
You know, going from working at a grocery store to
Not bad. Not bad.
yeah. So
Okay,
I hope to see more of them.
Yeah, man.
Kudos to Hulu for doing that. I know some people out there are like a little bit miffed about this movie.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I would give it. I give it 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
I give it 5 stars.
5 stars.
I give it 5 stars. I didn't see any issue. I mean, there were some little hang-ups, but they were very, very minor.
Yeah.
Like the ending, I was like, you can't be that
I think
stupid.
what Hulu should have done is they should have released this in theaters. I think they didn't think it would be such a big hit.
They should have.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a great ride in the theaters.
Yeah, it would have been like the sound would have been great.
That would have been fantastic.
You know, and I guess they did dub it in Comanche. So there's a dubbing. You can switch language, but it's not what they shot. So they didn't film it in Comanche.
Yeah.
They dubbed it. So
Okay.
it doesn't like it's like any other dub. It doesn't quite line up
Interesting.
with-
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was thinking it would be cool to see them all in Comanche, like filming it in Comanche. But I know it's like that's a money issue.
That is a
And
money issue.
money and time and all that.
Tons of
Yeah,
tons of
they did do a dub version of it, so it's on.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's it's all right
it
if
doesn't-
you
it
if
doesn't
you're
line-
interested.
Yeah, if you're interested, but it doesn't line up with the mannerisms and the nuance of a person talking.
Right, of course.
That's why I watch everything that's
in-
foreign
and
in
how
in
it's-
its language.
And in its own language. Yeah. You'll deal with the subtitles after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just it's for me. It's easy. It's like, oh, okay, read and then I watch it. You know,
Yeah. You get the gist.
Like one of my favorite foreign films was Pan's Labyrinth. That was like a phenomenal movie.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't foreign for me.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Spanish over here.
It wasn't foreign for me. I didn't have to read any of those
This
subtitles.
fucking guy over here.
Yeah, man. Native language. I was like, okay, I get it. It's fantastic. I mean, of
He's like,
course.
subtitles off.
Yeah, I don't need it. The only thing was it made me laugh because the Spaniards have a lisp.
They do, yeah.
So a lot of them had that lisp. And I was just, I kept laughing just randomly. Yeah, but it was.
They pronounce the C's different too, don't they?
Yeah.
The TH.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a S.
Like
like
that. That's good.
That's
funny
I
stuff.
remember some things from Spanish, you know. All right. I'm gonna take a quick little break, a little bathroom break, and then we'll get into the meat
Okay.
of this.
Cool. All right, let's do that. We'll be right back, folks. Okay, there we go. Now we're back.
We are back.
Okay.
Wardrobe change.
We have somebody watching.
Got the sweats. I was just leaking through my shirt, so I put on black.
Yeah, I see that.
And
Man.
I got my
You got your trusty fan here.
fan here.
There you
It's
go.
good.
That's what you need.
So, where did we leave off?
Okay. So, yeah, we just finished rating Prey. I gave it 5 stars. You gave it what, 4.5?
4.5.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Gotta give it, it's due.
I think it was very well done. They didn't go over the top. They kept it simple. They stripped it down to like its bare bones. And what do you need?
I thought that dog was gonna die. I was like, this dog's dead.
Oh man, no, the dog was a G, man. That dog is MVP. The amount of times that dog saved that girl's ass, man, like that was awesome.
And getting lost in like the forest, it just like comes back.
And it just came back. That was MVP, man. I want a dog like that. Honestly.
I forget what the name of the dog was, but it was something cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I thought the dog was gonna die at some point. I was like, oh man, Predator's gonna get him. He's gonna take his skull. I wasn't ready for that. I got attached to the dog.
I got my mini bar over here, so I'm making a drink real quick.
Yeah, boy.
Is that all right? I can multitask.
All right.
So,
fancy.
what should we move into House of the Dragon, or should we?
No, not yet.
Not yet. We're gonna say that.
Yeah. So you've got
I
got
got
two more.
I got a few things here.
Yeah, you got a couple of things. So we
I've
can
been
talk
busy.
about 13 Lives and the Bear before we move on to the Dragon.
Okay. Should we do? Did you watch 13 Lives?
I did
I
not.
don't know.
I have not watched it. Yeah, I know it's on Amazon.
This guy tells me to watch the thing. He doesn't watch it himself.
Wait a minute. I did not tell you to watch it. I said it was an interesting movie based on the news that I heard, and I was going to check it out, but I did not.
Yeah.
I did not. Get to check it out.
Okay, I'll go to 13 Lives first.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I liked it. I remember when this happened.
You remember the
Yeah, when the actual story happened and all that, the kids were trapped and
Okay.
the soccer team and all that. It was a huge thing. It's like it captivated the whole news media.
Yeah, it was on a news cycle.
For like 3 weeks.
Constantly.
Almost. That was like two.
No, it was
two
2
or
weeks.
so.
It was 18. Was it 18 days?
I think like 14.
14 days.
13,
Yeah,
14
no,
days.
18 days is way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 days or something like that. They were there. They were stuck there for a while.
So that was a big deal. I didn't know that they were gonna make a movie about it. And then I looked this one up and I realized they've actually made a few movies about this in different markets.
Oh, okay.
I think there was like a couple like Asian ones, and then there was a European one that came out, and then this one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense that they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to do that out there in
Or,
their market. Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I think one of them was actually filmed there. I'm not sure if this one was filmed in the cave, but I looked up the pictures and it looked so similar. So maybe it was filmed
Really.
in that cave, which would be nuts.
Yeah.
Because I know it's
Ron
like
Howard,
in,
man.
like in the other parts of the year, it's accessible, so you can
Right.
go in there and not worry about it. But
Right,
when
except
the
for when it-
season comes in, that's when it floods.
Right. Yeah, that's when it gets serious.
But yeah, classic Ron Howard movie. If you guys seen his work, especially like Paul 13,
Yeah.
it's always like has that danger aspect of like we gotta hurry the hell up because if we don't, we're gonna die.
Right.
Type deal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all
We're trying to beat the clock. kinda.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And he's good at that stuff. And
Yeah.
he did.
Well, he's done a lot of real life stories.
He's just a good director overall. Like I liked Solo when it came out. That was good. You know.
I like Solo too,
Yeah.
man. A lot of people didn't.
Viggo Mortensen in this movie was great.
Yeah.
I thought he played his role very well.
Okay.
Just like that. Because I think these guys were volunteers, right? So they had their own careers, but they also did cave rescues, and they were like, decades of experience in cave rescues and diving,
Right.
and all that. So they're like,
Yeah.
no,
Some of those guys were
we
military.
got to go rescue these kids.
Right. Yeah.
But he was more realistic about it. He's like, dude, these kids are dead. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like,
Really.
he's like, we're gonna rescue bodies. Is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, because I mean,
They go to
anybody else would. I mean, after a couple
Yeah.
days,
they
I
go to
mean,
like the media and they're like, oh yeah, there's hope, and he's like, what are you doing? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, just giving these parents false hope. and
False
all that.
hope,
Like, why
man.
why would you say?
because they're stuck in there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just imagine you being stuck in a cave for 2 weeks.
And they find them right first, and like they locate them, but then they have to like go back out. They're like, all right, we got you. Sorry, we'll see you guys in a couple days.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then they have
man.
to coordinate things, and then that's when like the monsoon keeps coming in more and more, so the cave keeps filling up.
Yeah.
And there was a whole like battalion. It was like thousands of people worked on this rescue.
Yeah.
And there was like they diverted water from the mountain.
No shit.
Like,
so
yeah.
it wouldn't.
And
keep
they had to
flooding.
get permission from farmers to flood their fields because they
Right,
had
to
to
stop the
They're
water.
like, yeah, we're gonna like ruin all your food. And they're like,
Holy
all right, well, we give you guys permission. Just go ahead because we're gonna save the kids. and all
Yeah,
that.
save
So
the
they-
lives, man.
So like that was
Okay. So I didn't know about all that.
Yeah,
okay,
it goes
so
into that.
that's
Yeah, I keep reading. You didn't see it, so I'm like, Oh shit, spoilers. But,
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh yeah, this is the part where spoilers happen, guys. So if you haven't seen
this
things,
podcast is full of spoilers, man. We should put a just disclaimer underneath. I should put that as a lower
it's
third.
just like where if like a sticker on my head.
Yeah,
This is spoiler.
yeah. I'm sorry. This is not spoiler free at all.
But no, I thought it was really well done. It was classic Ron Howard movie. Kept me engaged. Didn't last too long. Obviously has a happy ending at the end of it. It was good.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's like, spoiler, all the kids survive because that's what happened in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't know.
But it's an interesting thing.
Happened in real life.
If you haven't seen it or like actually looked up how this was, they had an anesthesiologist as one of the, they had their own careers. So one of the rescue divers was an anesthesiologist. Mm-hmm. So he suggested that the only way they could do this without them freaking out or injuring themselves was to put them to sleep.
Yeah.
And then
knock them out.
Yeah, and then take them out.
That makes
but
sense.
It's super controversial because it's like unethical and yeah.
But it works.
So they did this without telling. They went by like the people that were running the rescue.
Right.
And they're like, okay, we can't tell you. Can't tell the parents.
No
can't tell
shit.
the media.
Wow.
Yeah. Can't tell the kids. They basically were like, oh yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like,
hey, how's it going, buddy?
And then they had to like make sure they were breathing underwater and like
holy
do a check.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, that added a whole little bit of attention.
Yeah, like we'll save lives. We'll pay for all this shit later. I might lose my license.
Yeah. And basically, the anesthesiologist is like, I don't know, like this is just an idea, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Like they could probably just die.
Right.
And it's like, well,
I mean,
I guess we're gonna test it, and then they basically did a test run.
Yeah.
In the moment, and knocked these kids out. Gave them like a cocktail of drugs, and
that's insane.
Then they had to re-administer it halfway through the rescue dive going back because they started there. They wake up, they had to like hit him again.
Shit. All right, now I really got to watch it. This is interesting. Okay, cool.
But spoiler alert, they all survive. It's fine.
Oh man.
But I guess like the day after the whole rescue happened, like, the game flooded like full.
Yeah.
So they were like that close to.
That's not coming out. Yeah.
So I would give 3.5 stars.
3.5.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but if you like it a little bit more, maybe 3.75.
Okay. Not bad. All right, worth to check out.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got next? The Bear.
The Bear.
Yeah.
Bear.
This is interesting because I've seen some promotions about this.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a cook. It's a line cook, right? No,
he's like a badass. He's like,
is he a badass?
Yeah, he's
a cook in New York or
he was
Detroit or
in the movie in the show. He was formerly the head chef of like the best restaurant in the world.
No shit.
Yeah,
okay.
in that universe.
Right. In the show.
In New York.
In New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
So fancy French style, dining.
Okay. Kind of like Bourdain.
Well, no, probably better than that because Bourdain wasn't like he was never like the shit. He was just like worked his way up in the industry, but he was never like a famous.
Right.
He wasn't famous until he.
He wasn't like Wolfgang Puck or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't become famous until he wrote a book about how the restaurant industry is insane.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Right. Okay. So all right. So this guy's the shit in this series.
Yeah, and he comes from Chicago and all that. He has like a rough family upbringing and all that, and his brother was running this rinky dink like meat like a sandwich spot basically. It's called like something meats in Chicago. Like basically a place you go get like hoagies and stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And other foods. And then his brother commits suicide, and then leaves him the restaurant.
No shit.
Yeah, so he comes back to the family after being gone for years, and it's like, well, I'm gonna fix this because, just basically that whole depression aspect of like losing somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, and they just leave you something. It's like his way of grieving was fixing his brother's restaurant. So he quits his job and comes back and tries to fix this place up.
That's a cool premise.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay.
And it was, I think it's Jeremy Allen White. If you've seen Shameless, he plays Lip in Shameless. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I have. Okay, cool.
Very well done, very well acted. If you ever worked in food, it's pretty accurate.
I saw some clips.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Very, very accurate in terms of the dynamic of being in a kitchen.
Right.
And
all the bullshit you got to do.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's like this. it's just like this fast casual place, and he comes in, and he's like, "No, we're gonna treat this as a French restaurant." And he like brings this whole brigade aspect to it. He's like, "No, we're gonna fix this up because there's no there's no system here." He's like, "It's not working out.
Right.
Like, you're not making any damn money." It's like,
yeah.
He's like, "I want to fix this and change it into something worthwhile and make it
interesting." So he's trying to turn it into a fancy restaurant.
Not like fancy, but just like give it a little bit more like
a little bit better than just having a hoagie sandwich spot. Okay.
Where you're like, because one of the employees is like selling coke in the back alley and stuff. It's like it's very like run down and stuff. So it's very Chicago.
Okay. Interesting.
Very not ghetto, but not like it's not the Ritz.
Right. Yeah. Why do they call it the Bear?
Okay, so it opens up with he keeps having these like dreams of him confronting a bear in his dreams, and I think that the metaphor is basically him confronting his own pain and depression in the form of a bear.
Okay.
And he basically at the end of the show they close down and he's basically reformatting this and they're going to call it the Bear. So that's how it ends. It's like I think it's called the Meat. I think that's actually what the restaurant's called.
The restaurant's called the Meat.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. And like it's closed and like coming soon the Bear. So that's how it ends.
Okay.
Without spoiling too much because I want you to watch it without giving away the big reveal at the end.
And I was interested in checking it out.
But yeah, it's on Hulu, and Hulu's been doing pretty good this past couple months with Prey and this show coming out.
Yeah,
I think this show came out. I want to say like a month or two ago. So it's not super new.
Okay.
It's been out for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I think it's been renewed.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. And this one I would give.
So the season's over, right? The full season.
Yeah, it came out all at once.
Okay.
And, straight streaming style. It came out all at once.
Gotcha.
I think it's 8 episodes. They're an hour each. It's very good. I would recommend it. I give it 4.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid. All right, that's the next one on my list.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, I like that. I got plenty of friends that work in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
There's
a couple scenes in there, man, and I'm like, God damn, this is stressing me out.
Right. Like you're having flashbacks.
I was one of not just flashbacks. I haven't worked in like too many restaurant kitchens, but just working in food and it's like just like the amount of like yelling and anger that comes out through some of these scenes. You're like, damn, I don't want to be a part of this. I want to fast forward this right now. Like, let me get to the good part, please.
Yeah. Well, hey, dude, from what I hear, man, it's tough in the kitchen. I hear this shit all the time from friends, man. It's tough in the kitchen. It's hot. People mess up and shit. So there's a lot of like high emotion.
Everything you do in there is money. So
yeah.
Every
you can't fuck up. Yeah, that's true.
Mess something up, drop something that's money.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's in kitchen, especially in the restaurant industry, it's such a it's like you're so close to always being like negative.
Yeah.
Like it's most places. I think the average is like most new restaurants on average are open for like less than 10 years.
Yeah, it's tough.
And it's
opening a restaurant is super tough. Yeah.
So it's oftentimes you're broke or barely making even.
Yeah. And
then you have all this overhead. You got to pay your staff. You got to pay your suppliers. You have to pay the bills to keep the damn thing running in the first place.
Super expensive.
Then you have to like pay for your own shit. Like
if
you're breaking even, how are you gonna survive?
Right.
It's like
you're not taking anything away.
So we wonder why things are so expensive right now in restaurants. It's like, well, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
A shitty reason.
Makes sense. Watch the show and then you'll appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely would check it out. Jeremy Allen White, I think he should be up for an Emmy.
Really? Yeah. No shit. Okay. All right. Not bad. All right. So we've got those out of the way. So last one we've got left here. What is your opinion on the dragon now?
Oh, the dragon?
Yeah.
I mean, the house.
The house of the dragon, man.
I think it was surprisingly fucking awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went into this going, all right.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones prequel, very disappointed. It's like I was all into Game of Thrones, dude.
I think a lot of people were
hyped as fuck every time.
Everyone was.
Yeah.
Everyone
and then
was.
season 8 happened, and I was like, wow, you just totally murdered my soul.
Listen, I am no stranger to series that you've gotten fond of over years. over seasons.
Yeah.
You've gotten attached to characters. You lost some characters. This is not my first rodeo. So when it got to, and I was hoping that it didn't happen. I know it's tough,
right?
Especially when you go past 6 seasons. I know you're getting into that very shaky territory. Same thing happened to me with Lost. I don't know if you remember Lost.
I love Lost. This last season kind of sucks.
It sucked, bro. I was so upset, man. I used to have Lost parties, and this is before Game of Thrones parties, and people used to have watch parties and stuff. But dude, yes, we used to have Lost parties, man.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I was all in, and then the last season sucked.
And then they're like, hey, surprise, they're all dead.
Absolutely sucked. And, it was a theory that we were all kind of like throwing around, because there was tons of theories. And that was the fun part of Lost. Because they always left you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, the mystery box.
Yeah, it was well done. It was a bunch of mystery. Every time they answered some questions, there were new questions that would pop up. It was cool. It was annoying at the time.
From like the first episode, it was like that.
It was great. And then it's just like cliffhanger at the end of every fucking episode. It's a great cliffhanger. It's like, fuck, I gotta wait a week for this. But they did it well. Great filmmaking. But fuck, did they drop the ball at the end, man?
Yeah.
Because it was like the easiest theories. Like, okay, they're all dead. And it's just like, really? You guys went with that? We were thinking this from the beginning. Come on, you gotta give me something else, man.
I think that's the problem with creative writing, especially, is that it's so easy to start a great story and keep it going.
Well,
it's a lot harder to end a great story.
The problem is that once you get into years down the line, you've already lost. your I see what you did there. You've already technically lost your beginning writers, like your team.
Yeah.
Because the original writer, and I believe he was a producer on this along with J.J. Abrams, was Damon Lindelof. Now Lindelof, if you Google his name, he's going to come up with a ton of stuff. He has a lot of shit under his belt, a lot of good shows under his belt. But one thing that he does do a lot is that he'll stick around and do some great stuff, great episodes for like the first, at the beginning, but then he'll get out, and then they have to get new, and then it's different now. The DNA has changed now, so you got these new writers that are trying to live up to what this other guy did, but it's not quite the same.
They always have their own input too.
Right, their own ideas. They don't have the same blueprint or the same message that was started off by the guy that.
So it seems like the issue is kind of like a lack of a solid showrunner too. Because if you have a solid showrunner, you have
to continue that.
You have the outline. Like no, we have to stay within these parameters, these boundaries.
Right.
We can't go too far off the cuff.
Right. And if you have a solid blueprint from beginning to, and that's the thing, I don't know if they knew how to end it. I don't think that they had the whole story figured out already, and they knew, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is the beginning, and this is where it's going to end. In the middle, you guys can do whatever you want.
That aspect too of they didn't know how long their show was going to last.
That's the thing.
Like, is it going to last? Is this last season, or is this next? What's going on? They get renewed.
But that goes into one of the things that I'm very, very strict on is this. If you're creating a series, please know when it's going to end. You have to know when it's going to end. If you do this kind of like fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing, it's probably going to end up like Lost, like Game of Thrones, where they drop the ball because they don't know. There's no ending. So all right, let's make it up.
Especially with Game of Thrones, where the author of these books hasn't even finished the series.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no clear blueprint. So
I know that he did.
It's all over the place.
George R. R. Martin. I know he did tell the creators how his mind thought the series would end, like his books.
They even got to see the manuscript.
Yeah. So like they did like the showrunners like Dan and Dave, they quote unquote knew how this was supposed to end.
Yeah.
But I think
the execution
and the way they got there just didn't work very well. And I think that's why people were so mad. It's like, what? Like, where's like? Because he had like 2 more. Like, I think George wanted it to be like at least 10 seasons, if not more.
Right. And
HBO did too. And then Dan and Dave were like, nah, we want to do Star Wars.
Right.
It's like
right. Yeah. They wanted to move on.
Yeah. So, you get a hot date?
No, hold on.
Pause.
No, I'm just texting real quick. Yeah, I'm getting these texts, right in the middle of our podcast.
That's all right.
But yeah.
So, Yeah, they want it to be longer than Dan and Dave were like, oh no, we got all these other things we want to do, so we want to get the hell out of here. We want to wrap this up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You could tell it's rushed.
Yeah.
You can tell that they were trying to
and it's like
squeeze in a bunch of
such
things.
an arrogant thing to do, in my opinion.
It's a disservice. It's a disservice to everybody that was a part of it. It's a disservice to the fans.
And then look what happened. They rushed it, and then they lost Star Wars
for nothing.
Yeah.
It was all for nothing. So
if they would have stuck it out and done better, they probably would have kept Star Wars.
Right. But anyway, moving along. Let's get to the meat and potatoes here.
No, that's good. So, it's like that's my point. I was like, oh well, this is happening. Not too excited for it. A little excited, not too excited.
Right, and I think everyone was kind of because it left like this
bad taste in your mouth.
Super bad taste in your mouth, man.
So like, as soon as the first episode was done, and then all like the fans talking about it was like, yeah, there's still love for Game of Thrones, and there's still love for that series and that universe.
There is,
and this was actually very well done. I really enjoyed it.
It was well done. Yeah,
because it's
there's promise.
It's far enough behind that series where it's kind of its own story, which it is.
Yeah.
It's
It's a very similar story.
Yeah, a little bit less than 200 years before Game of Thrones.
Right.
But it's cool because you get these insights into a world that was like hinted at in Game of Thrones. You're like, I want to know more about that.
The history was always intriguing.
Yeah.
The
world building that George does with his stuff is so intense.
That's fantastic. That's what he's good at.
There's so much material there. And but yeah, just seeing like for example, like the shot opens up, spoilers, with Rhaenyra on a damn dragon. Instantly it's like, yeah, dragons are here. This is normal.
Yeah, like this isn't this is a normal thing. This is how life is lived. And there is more than one dragon. Like each one of them, they have their own dragons. It's like what, 10 dragons in here?
Yeah, and I think looking it up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, anyone that's a Targaryen has.
Well, also in this timeline, in books especially, one of the dragons that because Aegon the Conqueror had 3 dragons.
That's right. No,
he had 3 dragons. He had 2 sisters.
He had 2, but they each rode a dragon.
Yeah, but come on.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah. But one of his sister's dragons is still alive in this timeline.
Oh, which one is that?
That's what I'm looking up right now. Let's see here.
That's interesting. Originally, when I heard that they were doing a prequel, I thought it was going to be Aegon's story.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Well, I knew it was going to be not quite there. So I actually made a mistake in the last podcast where I thought Valerian the Dread, which is his dragon, was alive, but I think it had recently died. But
yeah, well, you see the skull.
Queen was saying is Vagar is the sister dragon to Valerian, and it's still alive in this timeline. So it's the last dragon that is alive from that era.
Oof.
And apparently, Vagar is like almost the same size as Valerian was when he died.
It's huge.
Which is like the biggest dragon you can ever imagine.
Right.
So hopefully that pops up because I like that tie-in because it's only like it's like maybe 100 years since Aegon's time.
Aegon?
Yeah, that's what they say. So it's like
really
in the show they're like
it's 100 years before.
They're like 100 years of tradition and all that, like with the.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, century has passed since
he
died.
Yeah,
you're right.
Because Jaehaerys, I think, was his grandson, which was the king that passed it to Viserys.
Right.
So Jaehaerys' old guy in the opening was the grandson.
Right, and he didn't have any heirs.
Yeah.
So he had to give it to different people.
They had to choose between Rhaenyra and then Viserys. And Viserys is like, I guess I'm the king now.
Yeah, pretty much. And technically, it still is a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a civil war. There's going to be a fight over the throne.
And there's a lot of tie-ins too with I would say
the other families.
No, with the future.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look at it, so Viserys has the knife.
That's right.
That was used to
the Valyrian steel.
That was the entire catalyst for the Starks going against.
That's right.
The Lannisters and stuff because
that's right.
Littlefinger planted that knife on Tyrion.
That's right.
To murder Bran or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was the same
That
knife,
is true.
and also the same knife that was used to kill the Night King.
That's right.
Same one.
Yeah.
So he has that. He has it on his belt.
Yeah.
But
and they talk about that.
But I think this is also. I don't think it's necessarily a nod to Game of Thrones, the series. I think it's a nod to the books. Because George R. R. Martin is heavily involved in the series, more so than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's just like screw that. Let's focus on my work.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, he's not. Well, I mean, yeah, if you're the author, because I think you're naturally going to do that. You're naturally going to do that.
They talk about the prophecy because the king's like, we only pass this down from king to king, and like this is a secret.
That's right.
It's like Aegon called it the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah,
which is
a great nod to the original book.
The books. Yeah. It's called the Song of Ice and Fire.
Right. That's the original name, the first book of Game of Thrones.
It's not like he was like, oh, it's the prophecy is called the Game of Thrones. It's like
no, it's not.
It's
the
Song of Ice and Fire.
Right. That is the original title. Yeah. I did a Leo DiCaprio moment. I was like, oh, I know that.
And when they're doing that little prophecy right there, the skull in the background, that's Valyrian the Dread.
Yes, that's right. I do know that. Yes, that huge freaking skull,
which is the same one that Cersei pierces with the bolt.
Oh, that's right. When they're
testing out,
when they're testing it out.
So she awful fucking bitch.
Yeah, so awful, man. Sacrilege.
I also love the little tidbits of history that you get there too, with old Valyrian, High Valyrian, because they're speaking it.
Yeah,
it's still a language that they speak.
Yeah, only a few people.
Especially when the whole funeral pyre. When she says Dracarys, and the way she says it instead of Dracarys, she says Dracarys. It's they had the pronunciation there, the accent.
It sounds a little Latin.
It's still, it's very because
very Latin.
George did base all this shit off of
historical stuff, and how Latin is like a dead language. Yeah. Very simple.
But just even the pronunciation, the accent is still there. That was neat. In Game of Thrones, Daenerys is like, "Oh, I'm Valyrian of Dracarys."
Yeah, they didn't get it right.
And Rhaenys is like, "Dracarys, bitch, burn my mother." It's like,
it was very talky at the beginning, but then action started.
I love the whole tournament. That was great.
The tournament was awesome. Matt Smith is. At first, I was a little apprehensive. I was like, Doctor Who.
I liked him.
Yeah. I ended up liking him.
Yeah.
Because he's a good actor. He sold the character to me. He was that character.
Yeah.
But when I first saw him, I was like, I don't know. The face just. I see Doctor Who all the time. That's what I keep seeing. And
my interest in him was
after a while,
the Crown. I watched him in Crown.
Oh, that's right. He was in a Crown. Yeah.
He played Elizabeth's husband, William Charles.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
I was going to say Prince Philip.
Philip.
It was Philip. Okay, I figured it was Prince Philip.
One of those fucking weirdos.
Okay. One of those guys. One of those royalty guys.
One of those colonizers.
Yeah. But Matt Smith, he sold me on this.
Yeah, it was great.
He sold me on this.
He plays that sadistic, but also almost seems like it's a necessary sadism. In the sense, he has a reasoning behind the madness. He's not quite mad like Targaryen is, the mad Targaryens that you hear about.
But there's a bit of an asshole-ish attitude.
It's almost like a necessity in his persona. He's like,
right.
I have to be this asshole.
Right.
Because he's talking about you're letting these council members just pick at you and take advantage of you. And he's like, I could have been there to protect you. He's like, from what? He's like, from yourself.
Yeah,
you're weak.
Yeah, arrogant, super arrogant.
It's almost true because if you remember the lore of the throne itself, the ones who get cut on it, because apparently the throne cuts them.
Yes, that's
who
right.
aren't worthy of leading. That's why they get cut. And I remember he was sitting on it and before he
got cut.
No, not Matt Smith. He didn't get cut.
No, I didn't. No, he didn't.
But remember the wound on his back too was also from the cut.
Okay, because I saw him when he cut his hand.
That was the second. That's another cut. See, he's already been cut multiple times from that
crown. Oh, that's a nice little tidbit I didn't know.
So the whole theory is that those who get cut aren't worthy of leading.
Interesting. Well, the Mad King kept getting cut all the time.
Yeah.
So that's a dead giveaway.
I do also love the more book accurate throne with all the swords on the side.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that was awesome. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, this is a different."
If you follow the lore, is basically all those swords come from Aegon's conquest with all the people he killed.
That's right, and the dragon melted them down, and you had, blacksmith in there just hammering it down and shaping it into a throne.
Like going back to the original series, speaking of the throne, there's some Easter eggs in that throne. Like with the swords, there's pop culture swords within that throne. So
No
you
way.
can find Gandalf's sword in that.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check this out.
No, definitely.
This is interesting.
In Game of Thrones, there's like they made that throne with pop culture references within the swords of like different.
What?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna really have to check this out.
That's awesome. Yeah,
That is awesome.
I have to. I'll have to get like a good screenshot and like dive into the new one and see if they kept it. It looks pretty much the same, but with all the other extras on the side.
Yeah, I like that. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is not the same throne.
No, it's great. Yeah,
this is. I like the size.
It seems like they haven't really made King's Landing their main residence because they all live at Harrenhal still, which is like where Aegon, or maybe it's Dragonstone. They're at Dragonstone.
Well, Dragonstone, yes.
Yeah, so
because that's where
it seems like they split time between the two. Like they'll be at King's Landing and they'll be somewhere else.
Right.
Whereas in Game of Thrones, they're always just at King's Landing. So like
the majority,
they're still kind of keeping the Targaryen history there.
Technically, that's not true. Well, from what I saw, they were in King's Landing the majority of the show. Of course, I mean that's the kingdom.
But the hill where they do the funeral pyre, that's not.
That's not King's Landing. No, that's somewhere else. Yeah, of course they had to travel.
Sure that's outside Dragonstone.
Right, they had to travel out. Yeah. Because Dragonstone was like the first
deal.
place that the Targaryens touched when they went to Westeros.
Yeah, it's not a big deal when you have dragons. It's like,
right, you can fly. Yeah, there's no traffic with dragons. No, that's the thing.
I love the tourney. I love like the little Easter eggs with all the houses.
Yes, I saw that.
You get the Rickon Stark, the old dude.
That's right. So there's a lot of callbacks.
I love how he looks so pissed off at like having to kneel again. He's like, I'm Rickon Stark.
Yeah. No, but I like that. I want to see. I understand this House of the Dragon, and I understand that the majority of it is going to be focused on Targaryens. However, I do want to see more of the other houses.
Well, we're about to get a civil war.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get like this Targaryen civil war. So we're gonna get. There's gonna be allegiances. It's gonna be
That's right.
Happening.
That's right. And you're gonna get these houses, the original houses before they were destroyed. Most of them were destroyed during the Game of Thrones. But yeah, I want to see this, and I want to see like the different callbacks to a lot of the different banners.
There's only a few that like I think were originally they kept their lordships. I think Stark is one of them that didn't fight. They're like, all right, fucking dragons kneel.
Yeah. Stark was one of them. Baratheons fought.
No, the Baratheons came into power, but they're also cousins of Targaryens by blood.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think it was cousin by blood, and then that's how they became into power. You can see the evidence. Like it's a legit thing too, but you can see a little nod to it when the younger Baratheon in the tournament comes up for favor, and she's like, "Oh, good to see you, cousin," like or whatever like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So, which is also like why that Robert Baratheon had somewhat of a more legitimate claim to the throne because he was slightly Targaryen by blood too. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But he also went apeshit. He went apeshit because they stole his wife. So there's that.
It wasn't really his wife, but well, betrothed.
True. Very good point. She wasn't in love with him. Yeah. She married
Rhaegar.
Yeah, she went off with Rhaegar. And I still want to see that. I still do want to see that.
Yeah, I did notice a little faux pas though with the props.
Got another one? They left the Starbucks somewhere?
No,
Starbucks cup?
In the tournament when Daemon comes up, he has his helm. Yeah. The ears flap a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It's not metal.
That was just like, as filmmakers, I was like,
somebody didn't do their job.
It's similar to in the Battle of the Bastards when Jon Snow unsheathes his sword and it goes, whoop, whoop.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Like I think it's when he's riding on he's doing something and it's just like you just notice it like flop a little bit.
Flops?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I like that scene though. Like when he's like by himself.
Yeah.
And he's just like, all right, I'm just gonna go out like this.
I'm just gonna die.
I'm just gonna go out like this. A warrior. That was awesome. Yeah. That you just stared at Destiny right in the face.
And then you get the Rohirrim coming in. I mean the Veil.
Yeah, that's true. They did do a Rohirrim thing. It's like, hey, we're coming with horses and stuff. It's like, all right, just wait till the last minute.
You get a horn.
Yeah, thanks, guys. But in any case, man, I like the House of the Dragon. It was awesome. It started off pretty slow, but a great first episode nonetheless. Yeah, man, we're gonna see a ton of.
How about
dragons.
that pregnancy labor scene? That was nuts.
That was tough.
That was insane.
That was tough. It was yeah, man. And I liked how they kind of, were going back and forth between the tournament.
Yeah, they juxtaposed between the two. And
right, the tournament. Like there's, like having a baby, and then there's war, and then there's this violence, this fighting, and then you have this new life trying to come in.
And Jaehaerys' sister, I think that's his sister, right? Who was like they're up for the queen or the king. I think maybe they're cousins. Rhaenyra, the older one.
They're cousins.
Yeah. So she was talking about how like none of these people had ever seen war, so they're just playing at it.
Yeah,
because this is like the only chance.
That's true, but they've had peace.
Yeah, it's been peace
until
now.
Until now.
I also like the contrast between once Viserys left. That's when shit got crazy in the pit.
Yeah,
because it's like it's all civilized, and he leaves, and they're just like
they're going crazy. Yeah, that's true.
And you can see like the squire like pukes because he's never seen this type of shit before.
Right. I saw that. Yeah, it gets even worse.
Yeah, the whole axe in the face. He's just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I like how like they still kind of respect the rules. Cause like Damon's fighting, the guy's like yield.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Yeah, they're not going out.
They're not quite there yet.
It's not Gladiator. I mean, you got to remember these are respectable houses too. Like you do have to. There is some formality. You can't take somebody's head off.
Killing a lord's son.
Right. You can't take somebody's head off. Do you yield? Oh no, you don't. Well, I give you a shot.
There was some head smashing. People did that.
I actually like the Black Targaryen.
I think it's like he's a different house.
Is he a different house?
Yeah,
he has a white hair.
Yeah, but I think because he's Valyrian, so I think a lot of the Valyrians had white hair.
Oh, he is Valyrian. That's right. He's not Targaryen.
Yeah. So let me check. What the hell? Pause for station identification. His name is Valerian.
What?
Corlys Valerian.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Corlys. Let's check this house. Valerian. Look, Google's great. Here's me talking. It's like, I hear your voice.
Yeah. It gets it.
Yeah, it's a Valerian house. It's a seahorse. It's its sigil.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
That's interesting.
Seahorse. History. Yeah, the blood of old Valyria in its veins. Yeah, it's a Valerian house named Valerian.
Okay.
Just switch the letters around. So it works out.
I don't know about that. It just sounds weird to me.
Yeah. But there was some controversy about that because the bigots come out of the woodwork when things come out and they're like, oh, how is it going to be a black Targaryen? It's like, well, no, it's not Targaryen anyways, but.
Yeah, he's not Targaryen. So. I thought he was part of it. Well, technically he is. He's married, but he's married to a Targaryen.
It's like a cousin thing, right? So it's like a cousinly.
It might be. Yeah. It might be.
Because there was a couple houses that did follow.
But he comes from Valyria.
Yeah, I think it's close enough. I think there was a couple houses that pledged allegiance to Aegon when he left, because Aegon was like, "You guys are all gonna die, so we gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, sure.
Well, I hope that they talk more about the Doom.
Yeah, I hope that.
That migration.
I think this also opens up so many doors to like this, because it's like world building is huge in his universe.
The history is great.
Yeah, there's continents that haven't even been written. Like he's like, oh, this exists. It's like doesn't have much written about it, but it's like, yeah, it's like. Imagine the history there, and like all the unexplored lands, like where Arya goes off to explore the things that haven't even been.
Right. There's more lands. There's Dorne.
Or there's Melisandre, the red woman.
That's right.
She's 400 years old in Game of Thrones. So
That's right.
She's at this time she's already 200 years old.
She
she's
might
walking
be still
around
alive.
somewhere.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, she is alive. She's 200 years old at this time.
Yeah.
She comes from Masai, which is like the eastern part of like Essos.
Yeah.
Which is way the fuck over there.
Yeah.
It's like where all the dark sorcerers come from. It's like she's somewhere.
Yeah, and then you have I forget Bravos, the many-face god.
Yeah,
and you have that. Yeah, well, Land of Bravos is like merchants and assassins.
They were like the first free peoples, I think.
Yeah, and then Dorne. Then you have the
we
Veil.
We had the Dornish fighter.
Yeah,
At the pit.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, oh, he's Dornish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the people from the Veil.
Because famously, Dorne it's a free society. It's not under the rule of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested. You're right. It does open all these doors. So I'm interested in going into the history of all these.
I think this reception for the first episode is great because there's so many people are like me are like, holy shit, I actually really like that. Yeah. It's like
I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
I'm glad it's new showrunners. It's not Dan and Dave. Like I think they lost their fucking chance.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Go try and do another Star Wars or something.
go lose a Star Wars again.
Yeah.
You fucking assholes.
Yeah. They left us.
But I guess there's rumors and it's pretty like hardcore, like almost like true, but not like cemented true, where Jon Snow, Kit Harington is going to be getting his own series as a spin-off.
For what? No,
I don't know, but that's in the works.
No.
The rumor works.
They need to stop. They need to cease and desist immediately. Leave it where it is. Leave his legend where it is. Don't fuck it up further. It's enough. Yeah. It's enough. What was he banished? He was banished at the end. They sent him to the wall.
So how are you going to banish the Princess Promise? It's like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's right.
Brandon Broken is king because he's just a weirdo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's like they're gonna kill Tyrion, and he's like, well, wait. What if we make him king? They're like, genius.
They could have made Jon Snow king.
Well, he had that's another thing that I hated about that ending.
They could have.
The whole thing about it was like, yeah, his lineage is so important, and then like they wrote it off like, who cares?
Yeah, he has Targaryen blood, man.
Yeah, like George is gonna write it way better. Like it's gonna be a huge thing.
I was pissed at that. I was like, he's banished. He's back at the Watch. What the fuck is this? I mean, it was somber. It wasn't a happy ending, and I'm not completely against.
Ghost survived, so my boy Ghost.
That's right. Out of all the other, yeah. He was the run of the litter.
He charged off in the White Walkers in the Battle of Winterfell.
Sure did.
I was like, he's dead.
He's a G. No, he made it out.
He's lost an ear. He's fine though.
Yeah, he made it out, man. Fuck those zombies. I'm Ghost.
And the run of the litter became the biggest one of them all.
He survived,
which is a metaphor for Jon Snow. But at
that's
the
right.
end,
that's right. He was the run.
At the end, the metaphor kind of fell flat.
Because it didn't mean anything at the end. Like, come on, man. Like, I would have appreciated if he was king, and then his brother be the hand. Yeah. Bran. Yeah. His brother,
the only one that's left.
Fucking psychic. yeah. Have him be the hand. No, well, Arya left.
Well, the brothers all died.
Brothers all died. Yeah, that's right. That would have been fucking perfect. Why not? It would have been sad. He lost.
So it's like someone who's like not even like really a human being anymore. Like, yeah, you're king. He's like, well, I don't really care because I'm not a human.
Yeah, right.
I'm just three-eyed raven.
Yeah, he's technically an undead.
And another thing they didn't talk about too in the Game of Thrones is how Bloodraven was a Targaryen himself.
Who's Bloodraven again?
He was he was a Targaryen that. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're
there were some other clans.
He was a three-eyed raven. It was called Bloodraven.
Oh, the old guy.
Yeah.
The old guy.
Brandon Rivers. So he was a bastard, but he was a Targaryen.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, and then he became the three-eyed raven.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that now. He did say that. He said that when he first met Bran.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was stuck to the tree.
Afterwards, it's like, we don't talk about that. It's like,
I mean, I forgot about a lot of shit. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. I mean, this is the start of something big. They did a great first episode, and I am interested in seeing more.
So another look at this another mistake I made in the last podcast too. I thought this series was going to be the Blackfire Rebellion, but the Blackfire Rebellion takes place a little bit later than this series does. So this is like the first main conflict between the House Targaryen.
Okay.
And then the Blackfire Rebellion comes later on when like really like things just, like.
Yeah, this is when the Targaryens kind of start to destroy themselves.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Every great house.
Oh, also another thing too is like I guess they're doing a time skip a little bit.
I mean, I expect
so. In the trailer for the next, it's like coming in the coming weeks is what the trailer was called or whatever.
Okay.
and it shows an older Rainier.
Rainier.
I
I don't speak Valerian.
Yeah, like the girl, the freaking queen that's gonna be. There's an older actress that comes up in the trailer.
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
So I think they might do a little.
There is gonna be.
They might do a back and forth deal coming on, which is cool. I think it's great. Yeah,
that's totally fine. I'm okay.
I'm sure they'll keep Matt Smith because it's like he's already of age. And all that, so.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're probably going to age him a little bit more. I wonder if we're going to get any more Three-Eye Ravens. That would be interesting. Right. And apparently, Aegon has some kind of.
No, I don't think we'll get him because I think he's not born yet. So.
Yeah. Well, any Three-Eye Raven, I guess. But if that's a thing that can be.
I think he was the first one.
He was the first one? Okay. Because apparently Aegon has some type of prophecy power if he's dreaming about the White Walkers.
Well, I mean, I think he also dreamed about the Dune, and that's how he decided to leave.
So is it possible that even Aegon can be a warg?
A warg?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all speculation.
Right? Because imagine if he can see into the past, present, and future, and control dragons and other animals. Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome.
So right now, like we're about 75 years too early for Blood Raven.
Okay.
The Three-Eye Raven. So.
Okay.
Because this is Matt Smith's character, James Targaryen. He looks pissed off in this picture too.
Yeah. I mean, he played the character well.
Oh yeah. Well, we got. Hopefully, I don't know. You think this is going to be a one-off season, one and done, or is this going to be a multiple thing?
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
hard to say.
What if this becomes like sort of an anthology series? That'd be kind of interesting too, where they explore different aspects of the history of Westeros and Game of Thrones.
That would be even more interesting, actually. Like if they're right, like if that's
Because if Rings of Power, because we're talking about Fantasy Wars.
Yeah.
Which you dubbed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if Rings of Power and Amazon are going to do 5 seasons,
if they can afford that, $400 million per season.
Well, Bezos can afford a lot of things.
Well, listen, man, he doesn't give it out for free. There's got to be a give and take here.
Fucking Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he is Lex Luthor. Damn weird.
But if that's their plan, then obviously HBO has to look to the future too. Like, hey, what are we going to do with this? Like. We have other properties, but we want something big. Obviously, they always want something big.
They might. Okay, so
and because there's so much potential,
right? They might milk this.
If this does well and it ends well,
yeah,
and like the fans come back and they're like, yeah, fuck Game of Thrones, but I want to see that. Like,
interesting.
There's potential there because you can go like hundreds of years past. You can go watch the Doom. You can go watch.
Like, and I still want to watch that. Like honestly, man, I still am interested in seeing Aegon's story. Like this is fine. What they're doing is fine, but I do want to see Aegon.
I think like Aegon's history too. Like they're like a lesser house in Valyria, and then like
just look at that, man. Yeah, like that whole thing. Him, getting the dragons. Him conquering. Him flying over. And people migrating over, and then the whole damn, Valeria sinks.
We can get like the Doom, and then we can get Aegon's Conquest. We can get.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Actually, I that would be cool. Right. If they can go back and these specific periods, if they can dedicate a season per period like that, and then maybe 10 episodes each, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, a little anthology series.
Yeah,
one season.
Solid. Solid.
Because then you don't run into like the gamut of like, oh, how are we going to end this? It's been 8 seasons. It's like
you don't even have to do that anymore.
Just do one, boom.
Yeah, that's it. And that's a smart way of doing it. That's a very smart way of doing it because then you're not pigeonholed.
Yeah. And then people then the fans are like, oh, what are we going to get next? It's like, no, we got this coming.
We got something different. Yeah, we got something different.
There's more.
Yeah. I like that.
How about this?
I like that.
Because
honestly, you have to, like I said before, man, you have to think about it. If you're doing a series, man, how's it going to end?
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge to like any writers, and it's easy to start something and it's easy to keep it going.
But once you get that ball rolling,
you're like, oh shit, what do I do? How to end this?
Yeah, because now you got the train moving. Where's the train stopping? You're like, fuck, all all right, let me figure this out.
This thing Snowpiercer where it just keeps going around.
No. Well, no. If it keeps going around, it's going to end up, going off of a cliff or something.
Speaking of
Like
Snowpiercer, and Sean Bean's in that one too. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But he hasn't died yet.
He has not died.
He has not died. I saw the movie Snowpiercer years ago.
Chris Evans.
Yes. And Tilda Swinton is in it. A couple of other people were in it. Loved it. Loved the concept. It's fantastic. And then when they made the series, I watched a little bit of it, but I got distracted. There's some other stuff that was happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like this, like a slow burn too, but it works.
Yeah, but I understood what they because it's very political.
Oh, well,
it's socio-political. Socio-political. If you understand what they're talking about.
I like that. Now we're getting this. This is where we go with the segues and the other stuff.
Yeah, tangent. It's a random tangent.
But I love like how it's basically a skyscraper on the bottom.
Yeah.
You have the dredge of society
on the bottom,
and then like the
higher up you go.
Is basically how the end of the train is like the slaves, and then
that's right.
The front is the hierarchy.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
Yeah, so I love that concept. It's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I would definitely teach that.
And how they rely on the lowers to feed the uppers.
Yeah,
and it's like. Yeah, all you need is just a little bit of rebellion.
A class system, man. It's a legit class system.
You can't survive without that, so why are you treating them like shit?
Right, yeah, that's the thing. But do you need a society like that? Because it seems to
happen all the time.
It seems to happen. It seems to happen consistently.
Like right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but that's why I like sci-fi, because sci-fi is just commentary on what's happening right now. Yeah. We're just, dressing it up in a different way. Yeah.
Looking forward to more Dune, man.
Yes, that's coming. They are done with pre-production. They're getting ready to film.
Oh,
yeah, they're getting ready to film. If not already,
I think we're looking at 2023 October for release.
2023, 2024 maybe, depending on how heavy the effects are. But they're going to focus on Zendaya's character in the second one, and then go into their offspring. Who's going to be the Dune Emperor in the third one? Which
Timothy Chalamet's offspring.
No. So Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya have a child.
That's what I'm saying. They're.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you said Timothy Chalamet's offspring. No. But yeah, their offspring. Okay. Their offspring is supposedly the Messiah. Now, I mean, spoiler alert. Of course, but in the Dune movie, you think that Timothy Chalamet is the Messiah, but he's not. They think that, and of course, he can kind of prove himself and kind of get that idea. But no, the offspring is the true, very, very true Messiah.
Well, yeah. Is this the second book or the third?
The third. Yeah, if they're no, actually, no. I might be wrong. It might be the fourth one. I might be wrong. It's been a while, so. But as far as like relative to the movie, I don't know if it's going to be the third movie or if they're going to lead into that. But I do know that they're going to focus on Zendaya's character and the Fremen, who are the desert people. Yeah. Nice. So that should be cool. I'm ready for it. I was watching it the other day too.
I had to rewatch it. I only saw it the one time.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's fun. Really, you haven't seen it since? Holy crap! I've seen it. I swear, like. Maybe 50 times after that. Man. Yeah, I'm a fan. I like it, man. It's good filmmaking.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it on the movie and TV talk. I think now we're going into future.
Okay. I don't have anything for future releases.
Okay. Well, I put down Rings of Power. We just talked about that.
Okay.
We can talk about it a little more if you want. We can just go into.
You mean the Similarian? That's what I'm going to call
it. Yeah. Okay.
Rings of Power.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's really hammering home on the Lord of the Rings aspect.
I know, but I guess it's for the layman.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I get it. If you call it the Similarian, people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" Like casual people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" And I get that. I have friends that are not really Lord of the Rings nerds, but I get them putting the two titles, Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power.
I think if they just called it Rings of Power, it would have been better than Lord of the Rings.
No, you got to spell it out for some people.
We talked about it September 2nd. On the next podcast, we'll have I think by then we'll have a few episodes under our belt.
Probably, yeah.
And then more of House of the Dragon. It's going to be a great one next time for sure.
Yeah.
So much stuff coming out. So much that has come out. A lot of things that we've been talking about. One that I'm looking forward to so much is Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Clerks. I was this close because Kevin Smith is doing this tour where he goes around the country now, and he's watching it he's showing it in venues.
Yeah.
And
it's a road show.
Yeah, and he's up in SF later this month. I think it's like September 30th or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so close to like buying tickets. But come on, Kevin, how are you gonna charge me $100 to buy a ticket for like
$100?
Well, after fees and shit, it's like $65 for the seat, and you get like
That's a bit much.
Yeah,
that's a bit much. But he's only okay. How many showings does he do per location? Just one?
I think it's just one. Yeah,
just one. He goes to a different location, different cities.
Obviously, it's not Kevin himself. It's the damn venue that's charging this fucking price. These prices. But I was this close to doing it. It's like, come on, why not watch it with like you want to?
It's a typical road show.
Yeah, but
it's not a bad idea. Tarantino did that with the Hateful Eight.
But Clerks, some of you might know, especially Allison knows, is what started my journey into this whole business. I've always been a movie person growing up, but once I saw Clerks, it was just like that was it. It was just,
that's what made you believe you can do this.
Yeah, just like learning about his story and how he made his movie, and he went to film school and dropped out, sold his comic book collection, maxed out his credit cards, got his friends together, and was like, "Hey, we're making a movie." Yeah, and they're like, "All right, cool, whatever, let's do it." He made it in his damn the story worked out, which is a quick stop,
right?
Yeah, and then it was only black and white because he couldn't afford color film. Yeah, man. It just all these little steps that had to happen.
But it gave it its own charm and personality, man.
And Kevin has produced some shit. It's
and he's actually produced some dope stuff.
A lot of dope stuff. Some of it's like, okay, you're doing your passion. But
Red State is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love Red State.
Red State is freaking.
A lot of people gave Reboot like all this shit. I enjoyed it for what it was. I knew what it was going to be.
People gave it a lot.
I knew what it was going to be, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah. They take what it is.
He's got some great gems too. like
Dogma's great.
Chasing Amy, Dogma, such good stuff. But Clerks has always been like my shit. And when Clerks 2 came out, I was like, okay, they're going back to whatever. And then the end of it, it's like, oh, they're going back to the damn quick stop. I'm like, sick. So I've been waiting for Clerks 3 for what? Clerks 2 was 2006.
Was it 2006?
Yeah, so it's been 16 years. 16 years since this came out. And, Kevin fought for the rights to his movies back because of the whole Miramax and the Weinstein scenario and all that.
Right.
He got his stuff back. Yeah, come on, people. Zero people. I'm sad.
Oh, what happened?
What'd you do? Have we been like that the whole time?
No, we should no.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it was a little bit delayed. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was just checking.
Yeah, so Clerks 3's coming out.
Oh no, we still have one.
Oh, Clerks
3. Unless that's me.
probably was you, dude.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Clerks 3's coming out. It's like a full circle deal right now because I'm now entering this world for myself. I just got my AA, going to school, and I can actually go to work and do things. And
right.
It's interesting.
This is the fun part.
It's interesting. It comes out at this time in my life.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling this is gonna be impressive in a sense because it's older and it's his experience too, and you can.
Well, he's older as well.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. It's more sophisticated in terms of the jokes are going to be. I think it's.
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
It's going to be more
because I still
it's
hope
going to be smarter.
Yes, but I still appreciate some of his
Oh, it's going to be there. For
immature.
Sure. It's going to be there for sure.
Right.
You can't have Jane Hughes in there without having
right. Some bullshit. Right.
There's going to be callbacks. There's going to be callbacks to his other movies.
Yeah.
Because it's all a whole universe in itself too. He was also one of the first to do this type of deal with the Hughes universe.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
Mallrats and Clerks.
That's it. Yeah, there's all the same.
They all tie together.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
I tip my hat out to that. Yes, that is.
So we're gonna get some callbacks. I already saw them in the trailer where they're playing hockey on the roof, like doing first one.
Yeah.
It's just like it's heartwarming to me. It's like going home and like getting in like your favorite blanket. Yeah. You're like, yes.
It's comfy
give me
again.
Clerks.
Yeah. All those old timey
And
feelings.
Comes out on the 13th, I think.
Of September.
Yeah, it's September. So it's it's coming.
No kidding.
Coming
So
up.
it's pretty soon, man.
Yeah, dude. I think in this next podcast.
It's my birthday month. I think this is awesome. I'm gonna be watching a whole lot of awesome stuff.
Has to take the whole thing. It's my birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday month. I'm gonna do it.
Your movie.
And we'll watch it. We'll watch it. No, that's cool, man.
It's like I'm like I don't know how to talk about it. It's like I can't find the words to express how
I think you did.
Excited I am.
I think you did. The warm blanket. I thought was a good, perfect metaphor.
Yeah, and then like learning about Clerks and learning about Kevin and seeing how he was inspired, and then going and watching the movies that inspired him, like all the Linklater stuff.
Yeah.
Which inspired me even more, like watching Slacker and all the
Days of
the Days of Confused, the Before Sunshine series, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like it's all kind of full circle, but it's just like it's coming out. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, finally,
Cool, man.
It's something I watched him on social media, and he like talked about how he's been trying to do this for so long, and he had a script written for so long.
Yeah.
And like how to get his rights back to his characters and all that stuff, and had to find a studio that was like willing to do it, and now it's coming out, and now it's here.
Yeah, it's finally yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man. Finally, culmination.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Snoochie boochies.
All right, next up is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
So supposedly this is the last.
Supposedly,
that's what they said about the last two. They said that about Ghost Protocol, and they said that about Fallout.
Yeah,
and they were both great movies. Not giving them shit. They end up being great.
I think the Mission Impossible series somehow gets better with each one.
Strangely enough, man. Listen, all the shit that they give Tom Cruise, him being a little crazy. Yeah, he is a little crazy. But he's
don't start jumping on my couch right
he's
now.
He's a great filmmaker. No, he's a good filmmaker, man. He takes it very, very seriously. He's a great producer.
He's a fan and a filmmaker. So he takes that fanaticism into
his intensity. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, I want to be the best filmmaker. Not just for myself, but I want to give everybody a great experience. He's like, I want people to be invested.
Right.
I want them to have fun. And I want to elevate every aspect of my.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He
elevates himself. He elevates the actors around him. He elevates the audience.
Yeah.
And he has such a sway now in Hollywood where he can be like, no, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Like with the whole, when he jumped off the building, with the Burj Khalifa or whatever.
I'm sorry.
The tallest building. I think it's called the Burj Khalifa. I think it's the tallest building.
Oh, in Dubai. Yeah. Okay, I remember this.
He's like, goes to this
Ghost Protocol.
stunt coordinator. He's like, we can't do that. And he's like,
yeah.
Well, no, we can't.
Yeah. I remember a story about where he's
scaling, he's going down, and he like.
But he's running across.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's like sideways running across it.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. That was crazy stuff. And they were trying to do that actually on the fucking thing.
I think they did it on the thing.
That's a bit much, man. Like anybody else would just do green screen. We're like, okay, it looks like a building. Let's do this in a studio.
No, we're doing this. It's
like Tom, we could do this on the ground in a nice sound stage.
Like, no.
Jeez, man. But no, the guy is like, he just, he's trying to exude excellence in everything, every project that he works on.
And I think our first podcast, we talked about Top Gun.
Yeah.
Where he talks about him being a fledgling, actor and coming into a studio and going around to every single department and studying how they work and learning from them and looking at how they do things. And he's like, if I'm not going to ever make a movie again, I want to at least know how this works.
Right.
So like he's a student and he's a fanatic, he's a student, and he's a filmmaker. So he's got that boyish personality. Is like, oh, this is awesome. We're just gonna do this. This is great. Why the hell not? This is man.
Why not? Why not love it, man? But that's the type of attitude that you should have, man.
And he elevates his actors too. It's like he does his own stunts, but he's like, no, come on. You guys, You guys are doing your own too.
Right? Yeah, man. Which might be a little nerve wracking for some people. Like, I'm not jumping off of what you want me to do. What? But no, man. I mean, you come off. The performance comes off better that way. Like, you don't have to do any kind of weird camera tricks to like not show somebody's face.
Yeah, and that's how they did in Top Gun. You know, they actually went to the planes. They didn't fly them, but they rigged the cameras in the back seats. And they experienced real G-force.
Dude, before Top Gun, which is I mean, pilots go through a lot of training to like be all right with that. That isn't easy. But even before that, with the last, I think it was Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah. The helicopter chase scene with Henry Cavill. That was insane. Yeah. That was insane. The guy was hanging off the helicopter, and then he got into the helicopter, and then they were shooting, from one helicopter to the other. It was a lot, man, but it was practical. Yeah. And they just mounted cameras all over the damn thing. He's insane, but he gives you an experience. Yeah. And I think that's awesome. So
if this is the last one and what they say, then
he's going to die doing a stunt. No, I'm sorry. That's way morbid. But no, he always ups the ante.
They might pull a James Bond where they kill him off at the end, but But I think if this is quote unquote last one, then I think we can expect some great shit. Great send.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a super awesome.
It's part one, right? It says to set up the next part. Yeah. So,
I mean, listen, you can see it in the name, Dead
Reckoning.
Just saying, man. It's in the title.
Part one.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not sure. It might be like a back-to-back filming thing, right? It would make sense.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah.
So I would expect the next one to come out next year. Yeah. And like this is going to be.
It's just going to be one long project.
Yeah, same time frame. Probably. I think it comes out in September. I think it's like September 30th. Comes out.
Okay.
Let me double check that here.
Listen, I'm still a fan of the first Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
that's still a solid movie.
It's such a different style compared to the ones now.
It is. It was a different style. It was legit before it became an action film. Yeah. It was an espionage film. And it had one of the greatest directors. He doesn't direct anymore. He directed Scarface.
Oh wow.
Brian De Palma.
So I guess this one comes out next year. I guess I'm stupid.
Okay, next year. Okay. Yeah, I figured they're gonna need some time.
I don't know where I saw like a release date. It might have been an old one where I saw the release date.
Yeah,
coming up because they moved everything. But still,
what would be great
July
is
got Tom Cruise.
A lot of people have put their hands on this. JJ, when he started producing him after Mission Impossible 3, I think it was during Mission Impossible 3, they started to get more actiony, much more better. Mission Impossible 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman, I thought that was great. Okay. That still was action and espionage because you still had a little spy-ish, the spy kind of stuff happening there. Yeah, man, and they became more and more action after that, and less spies stuff.
Yeah, more Jason Bourne type deal.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I did get an old release date because it was before it was September 30th, and then it got delayed again to July. But hey, whatever.
Wow. Okay.
It's been like they've been showing trailers for it though, so they're hyping it up.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Well, there's a little bit more time to do their thing, but yeah, man, I've been a Mission Impossible fan. I've seen all of them. Yeah. Part 2 was it was Part 3 and the rest, they started to get better. But yeah, I can still watch part 1. Actually, I think I saw it the other day. I was just bored, man. It had a great cast. It had a fantastic cast. It had a great team.
Speaking of action movies, when the hell does Fast 10 come out?
Oh, jeez. And Jason Momoa's on this thing now?
May 19th, we got Fast 10.
Yeah.
Not fasten your seatbelts, but
Fast X.
Fast X.
Okay, I guess.
Jeez.
They aren't furious anymore.
Brie Larson. Jeez.
She's in this now. They're just getting everybody from Marvel.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, again.
What else we got here? Yeah. John Cena's back.
Yeah.
Charlize.
They just recruit more and more people. Cardi B is in it. Okay, I'm not even surprised.
Wow.
They're just recruiting more and more people. Kurt Russell's back. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, Kurt Russell has been old.
Yeah, man. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
Michael Rooker.
Wasn't she?
She was
Missandei?
Yeah, she was in previous ones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she was in previous ones.
Yeah, wasn't she Miss Sunday?
She was.
Yeah. Then they killed her.
They did.
All
They did. She was one
That's
of my
Game of
favorite.
Thrones.
She was one of my favorite characters. But yeah, that's what the series does.
right, let's get something else to talk about. I think that is.
I think that is it. We did a couple of tangents. We got our fill of tangents, and yeah,
this is a quick one this time. Usually we go longer. Yeah,
we do go because we tangent a lot. We tangent a lot. I've noticed. But
I watched more stuff this time. So
you did. We're balanced because I was watching more stuff.
Yeah, last time you did way more.
Way more. Yeah, man, I was stacking them up. But yeah, so the next one we should have a little bit more.
We'll have at least a few episodes of Rings of Power.
Right, Rings of Power.
Multiple of House of the Dragon.
That's right.
We'll have a couple movies with Clerks to talk about. We'll have what else? I think there's
some other stuff, man. Yeah.
Well, you'll catch up on The Bear. Talk about that.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Cool.
And I think I was gonna try to do it this week, but I'm definitely gonna start doing it pretty soon.
What's that?
Which is my my reactions to The Boys, and I'll start watching that soon.
Yeah, you said you were gonna do this, and I want you to do this first episode.
Yeah.
First episode. No. Wait. Oh no. Okay. No. I'm thinking about the first episode for season 3, which is
Is that the orgy one?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm not looking forward to
There's
that
multiple
shit.
orgy situations.
Oh, God.
Superhero orgies, which make it even more interesting.
So I already have my puke bucket at my computer. So when I watch this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not even gonna lie about that, man. You're gonna need it.
So I won't,
because you're gonna have a bunch of what the fuck moments, and you're gonna be rewinding it. Like, what the fuck did I just see?
maybe I'll do it live. Maybe I won't. But very least, I think I'll start doing it this weekend, if not tomorrow.
Okay, please do, man. Because
I need to catch up. I need to get because they just that's another topic. They renewed it for season 4.
I know, of course.
I think it's starting to shoot soon.
Yeah.
So
they had to.
Yeah.
They had to.
I did watch some of the not too much, like the first episode of Westworld. So I'm getting into that too.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah. So that's another one I want to talk about because that actually just wrapped up, and I'm trying to catch up to the last episode.
Yeah, so we can talk about that too at the next one.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good, man.
Okay.
That's actually pretty good. They're trying something different. Again, this is Jonathan Nolan's baby, which is
Chris Nolan's
brother. It's Chris Nolan's brother. They worked on a couple of projects together. And he's usually the writer.
Okay.
But yeah, man, this is mind-bending stuff here. I like it. I really, really like it.
Nice.
Yeah, they're doing something different. So we'll talk about that in the next one.
All right. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Signing off.
Peace.
Later.
Till next time.